So they was saying she looked like Angelica. She was a bald headed skittle diddle. Her complexion was wish washy, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so y'all can't really see much, but this is the fit for today. Very flowing, you know, it's giving whatever it's giving, you know. Um, oh, yeah, I'm at work. I ain't doing that, but I'm at work. Let me mute them so we can get into the story time. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I was not born in Georgia. Y'all can see my baby. Isn't he so cute? I love him. And look at my nephew. I love him too. Okay, but yeah. So for those of you that don't know, um, I was born in North Carolina, raised in Georgia, and we're gonna do a story time. I don't know if I'm gonna cover all of it or if I'm gonna do it in parts, but we need to have this fucking talk, okay? Let me fix the camera. There we go. Okay, so I moved to Georgia and my siblings were in elementary. I don't know if I had started school yet or not. And I believe I already had did kindergarten elsewhere. But yeah, so we're gonna get into it. At first, school in Georgia was a fucking amazing. It was so much fun, so many field trips, a lot of different black history museums, farms, etc. I loved it. My first teacher, y'all, me and her were so close. My parents used to let me go to her house. Like literally, I was that kid that was at the teacher's house on the weekend, helping her with whatever around the house in her garden. Like we were close. I love her. I miss her. I cannot remember her name though, but I feel like I always have an image of her in my head, no matter how old I get. She's the one face I don't forget. She made a great impact. Now, let's get to the bitches that came after. Okay, after her, school was fucking horrible. So I did write this story down for you guys. So, this story happened to me in elementary school, and it is the first time I ever got bullied. Okay, I went to Liberty Point Elementary in Georgia because I need to make that clear because I don't know who hired all these abusive ass elementary school teachers, but yeah, this one was in Georgia too. At this time, I was in the third grade, and this is when I was top of the class. I was teacher's pet. She was actually my favorite teacher, and she definitely knew it. I worked my ass off to get the grades that I did. My parents did not play. We had to study literally like 2 hours a day back then. But, anyways, so I was friends with pretty much everyone, or so I thought. You'll find out more for that. And one day, this new girl just walks into class, and everyone was going in on her, y'all. They was going in on her. Okay, so they was like, "Oh, she's headed bald." You know, this was when calling people a bald headed skittle diddle was like the thing back then. So they was saying she looked like Angelica. She was a bald headed skittle diddle. Her complexion was wish washy, all kinds of stuff. Cause I don't know, she had like light and dark spots, but it wasn't like that. You know exactly what I'm referring to. It wasn't like that. It was like the kind you get when you don't really drink much water. That kind. So everyone was swearing it was dirt. They was trying to call her dirty. And y'all know me, I'm not for bullying. I'm not for antagonizing anybody. And that's just not my style. So I was like, I want to make her feel comfortable because I wouldn't want nobody treating me how they're treating her. And when I was the new girl, that is not how they treated me. That wasn't how they greeted me or nothing. So I felt bad for her. I can't imagine walking into a class and having people call me ugly, bald headed, saying they don't want me to sit by them, all kinds of stuff. So the teacher, she's like, quiet down, class, and she let the girl introduce herself. And for the sake of this video, we're gonna call her. What the hell was Hey Arnold's girlfriend name? Y'all know her name. Hold on one second, because I don't remember. I don't. I don't remember Hey Arnold's girlfriend's name. Oh, this was her name. Hold up, because ain't no way in hell they named this girl that. Okay, and being bada boom, y'all, I found it. So we're gonna call this girl Helga for the sake of the video. So Helga came came by and she sat by me. So the teacher was like, Helga, for today you can sit by Takoya because she's our star student, you know me. But yeah, so she came, she sat by us, and all the boy I sat with mostly boys and one other girl in my group. And so they was just finished talking junk, pure shit about this girl. And so I'm like, hey Helga, my name is Takoya. How are you? And Helga slapped my hand away, y'all. Helga slapped my hand away. Helga did not want to talk to me. Helga was cold as fuck. But I figured maybe she heard everybody talking shit. Maybe she's upset. Maybe she's sad. Maybe she's anxious. What the fuck ever. And I let her have her space in her day. So the next day, I walk into class and Helga's there early. Helga's chit chat with my friends that was just talking cash coach shit about her the day before and about how she looked like Angelica. So I sit down, and the teacher's like, oh, well, Helga's going to be sitting with you guys indefinitely because I feel like y'all will be able to give her a warm welcome and she'll be able to ease right into the class. I'm like, okay. So I don't even bother acknowledging Helga today. She hands out the group work and I'm helping everybody with the work. Helga is not good with reading. Helga is not good with math. Helga is just here. And for those of you that don't know, the No Child Left Behind bullshit used to pass a lot of kids that really was good guessers but was not ready to go to the next grade. Now, of course, I'm going to help her because if she's struggling, it's no point watching her struggle. But did I want to? Hell the fuck no, because she was a little icy. So she's asking me for help and I'm helping her or whatever. And we all just started talking or whatever. And everybody realized they don't even know what the fuck Helga's real name is. So, yeah. So we're like, well, what do you want to be called, you know? And as we're talking to Helga, Helga's like giving me this side eye, like she's being cold to me. She's not acknowledging me or whatever. And I'm not going to lie. When you cute, you get this a lot. It be the gremlins that be trying to start shit with you. Yeah, it be the gremlins. Yeah, that's all it is. So, I didn't even pay much attention. Then my so-called friends were like, oh, well, why you don't like her? What's your issue with her? Because she didn't even do nothing to you. So me thinking, okay, my friends are standing up for me. And they see that she's rude. No, my friends are instigating. Y'all, these little motherfuckers. Like, when I tell you, after third grade, I ain't never care to make friends again. After these people, I ain't never care to make friends again. Yeah, fuck them. So, moving forward, eventually it gets to the point where they're actually really instigating and blowing bald-headed itty bitty's head up. So bald-headed itty bitty decides that she's gonna punch me in my arm. Now, for those of you that don't know, I am very, very, very short. And all the way up until I was in my first year of college, I did not weigh over 100 pounds. So imagine me in third grade. I was the shortest kid in the class by far. I was the smallest kid in the class. There was only one other person that was about my size, and it was this boy. So when she punched me, I'm like, damn, that wasn't shit. You know, I got 12 siblings. So I'm like, damn, that wasn't shit. So I two-piece bald-headed itty bitty, and the teacher just so happened to walk the fuck back in class, and she caught me. Now, the bullying from her wasn't really my issue. I really don't give a fuck. It was how the teacher handled the situation that really pissed me off. The teacher came over, she asked what was going on, and I let her know this girl has been bullying me and testing me since yesterday. And I've just been ignoring every little thing. Like, even the day before when we were at lunch, y'all, she was like really testing my fucking patience. She kept stepping on the back of my shoes, the whole nine. And yes, I'm telling the teacher everything. And I'm like, this is my first time hitting her back after taking several shots, jabs, both verbally and physically. And the teacher was like, I am calling your mother. How dare you act like this in my class? You're supposed to be a star student. She is a new student and you're going to treat her like this. And I'm like, so are you going to ask anybody else what happened, or are you just going to go ahead and take her side? And in third grade, my parents taught me to be kind of free, but not calling adults liars or calling them out too bad, which is very toxic. Always teach your kids to call people the fuck out when they're wrong. Moving forward. So, yeah. So I'm like, are you gonna ask anybody else what happened, or are you just gonna go off on me? She was like, I'm gonna go off on you. You're supposed to be a star student. You're our highest tester. She was like, I'm thinking about having you suspended. And at that point, I was like, am I really her favorite student, or does she like me because I helped teach the rest of the kids in the class, making it easier for her to do her job? Like, now that I'm an adult, I realized really all I did was help her collect her paycheck. It wasn't that I was her favorite student. It wasn't that I was a star student. She didn't like me because I was smart, or that I was one of the few students in the class that actually respected her. It was really the fact that I made her job easier, and at this point in time, I became a burden or hindrance. Okay? So this bitch is going off on me. And so she's like, you need to give me your mom's number now. I need your mom's number. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Y'all, at this point in time, I knew phones exist, but I didn't know phones existed. If this makes sense. Like, this was like early 2000s or early 90s, whatever the fuck. I think it was the early 2000s. People didn't really have phones, and at this point in time, kids went the fuck outside. What? Like, I'm supposed to know that we have a phone number? Like, girl, our phone used to be off all the time because nobody called that bitch. But what are the people, the bill collectors or something like that? And those late night infomercials and shit? Yeah. So I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure you have my mom's number, because if she has a number, she would have given it to the school, but I don't have it. She was like, so you're trying to play dumb with me? You're trying to play dumb? And in my head, I'm like, well, apparently I'm dumb as fuck to her, because I really don't know the number and I don't have it. Like, why the fuck would I have our number when I'm at school? Y'all just supposed to have it. Like, when I'm out and about, I literally have it written down in case I get lost and stuff like that, but I didn't know the number by heart or nothing. She was like, well, go through your notebook. I'm sure your mother would have written it somewhere. And I go through my notebook, and by the grace of God, I find a number in there. So I look at the number. It don't. She was like, "Oh, so this is the number," because she was looking through it with me. "Oh, so this is the number. This is the number. So you lied. You was trying to play me, and you got the number the whole time." I'm like, "Okay, little bitty bitch, calm down." Like, in my head, you know how you're a kid, you cussing that motherfucker the fuck out in your head. I'm like, "Okay, itty bitty bitch, please calm down." So in my head, I'm working on my breathing, because I've never actually had anybody try me, test me, or nothing like that at this point in time. And I was honestly over it, because it's nothing like getting bullied and then getting in trouble for it and all this extra shit, and having your teacher talk to you like trash, especially since it was fucking embarrassing. It was embarrassing having everybody listen to it. So at this point in time, we stepped outside into the hallway so she could call the number. She calls the number, and they're like, "Hey, this is Miss Barbara." And she's like, "Oh, well, hey, this is Miss so and so," because I can't remember that bitch name. And she was like, "Barbara, what are you doing at Takoya's house?" And I'm like, who the fuck is Barbara? I'm like, who the fuck is Barbara? I don't know a Barbara. Do my mom have a friend named Barbara? I'm sitting there really trying to think about this. And then the teacher hangs up the phone. She's like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry. I must have the wrong number." She hangs up and she looks at me. She was like, "So you gave me the wrong number? You knew that wasn't your number. And why do you have Jermaine's number in your notebook?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I did get Jermaine's number." Y'all, I got Jermaine's number like 2 weeks into school. Because this was back in the day where your parents gave a fuck about you. So before you go to your friend's house, they would call your friend, want to meet their parents. They got to see where they live and see their parents before you can go over there. This was back when parents gave a fuck. So I'm like, I have Jermaine's number because he had a fucking birthday party. And I never even went, so I never even called it to remember that this is his number. Like, I'm just sitting there explaining myself to this preposterous ass, dumbass bitch. And she's still acting like she can't comprehend English. Like, it doesn't even sound that far-fetched to be the truth. So, anyways, once she was done, at that point in time, she was like really grilling me. Like, she was real mad I had Jermaine's number. And because I was in the third grade, I really didn't figure out what she was getting at. I just felt humiliated and embarrassed, y'all. But now that I'm older, I get that she thought I was a hoe. So she was trying to call me out for being a little hoe. And like, she was so loud, everybody in the class could hear her. Yeah, when we went back into she was like, "Go to your seat. I'm gonna go to the office and get your mom's number and call them myself." So when I got back to my seat, all my fake ass friends was sitting there, Kiki and Kaka, and were her. Nobody spoke up for me, because at this point in time, it was snitches get stitches. So they all let me take the fall for it, including Jermaine's bitch ass. my teacher did call my mom, and my mom was like, "Why the fuck is this bitch calling me?" Because I already told her the little girl was trying to bully me and asked her for her advice. She told me to whoop her ass, which I didn't do. I only hit her 2 times. So I'm like, okay. She called my mom. I got in trouble. Beginning, actually, I didn't get in trouble. No, I didn't. My mom was really proud of me. So yeah, she called my mom. My mom was really proud of me for standing up for myself, especially since this girl is like 7 fucking feet in the third fucking grade. Like, where the fuck they get this bitch from? Shaquille O'Neal school? Like, come on now. She was too goddamn big to be in our school, and I was like 2, 3 feet. So my parents were extremely proud of me when they seen how big that bitch was and how little I was in comparison to her. They was proud of me, you know. That was proud. And at this point in time, I was like really feeling myself. I was like, my daddy's a superhero. We don't take no bullies. Like I was in fucking La La Land watching the fucking Rugrats and shit, and they was hyping my head up to dumb shit. But yeah, so back to my bitch ass teacher. She was no longer my favorite teacher. After she got mad at me for getting bullied and literally made me endure the bullying for a whole 24 hours, put the girl in my group after she knew the girl was trying to bully me, my parents did not even let me continue to be in her class. I was removed from her class. I couldn't transition forward with them. And at first I missed my friends, but then I remember how fake them bitches was. Liberty Point had some of the fakest people I've ever fucking met in my life. And for those of you that are watching this, y'all were fake as fuck. I hope y'all have grown up. Yeah, y'all were fake. Um, and that girl did continue to try to bully me continuously. Like me and this girl fought consistently all the time because the teachers really didn't give a fuck. The teachers were the biggest bullies in the entire school. The teachers did not care, so therefore I had to fend for myself. I felt like I was at fucking prison. It was like, okay, here come this bitch trying to test me. And then as I got older, I really realized the only reason she bullied me is because it made the other kids accept her and it made her look cool, hard, big, bad, whatever. And I'm like, y'all cheering her on for bullying the smallest person in our entire grade. This is a 7 foot Rasputia bitch. But whatever. So she gained her acceptance. People still didn't really like her. They still talk shit about her. And if you're watching this, Helga, this is for you. Why did I choose Helga? Because she was a bully bitch that bullied just to gain acceptance. And I honestly felt like maybe what she's going home to is a representation of her. So at first I was like very understanding, very apologetic. But now that I'm older, fuck that bitch. And that's all for today's talk.